Welcome back. Did you manage to answer all the questions? We will be using that information later on. But first, do you remember the rare specimen found near the Marmenor? Well, we have good news. We managed to talk to her again, which has allowed us to understand the situation better. Do you remember how she felt last time? Exactly. She was very worried. Do you remember why? Well, now she's relieved and excited because her family member is about to arrive. And today, you are going to meet her after all the help you've provided. Are you ready? Let's start then. Play the video and we will let you know when you need to stop it.
Alright children, today we are going to see something amazing. But first, I think that I would like to know something more about you, alright? For instance, have you ever gone to the beach? Well, that's great news. Then maybe you've also visited some rivers, lakes, oceans. Is that right? Perfect. Then maybe you have also noticed that there are many plant and animal species living in those areas. And maybe you could give me some examples. Is that right? Come on, tell them. Well done. I see that you're already familiar with many of them. That's great, because there's somebody very special that you are going to meet today. Her name is Ponyo, and today we are going to talk about her story, which has been adapted into a film. Do you like films? Well, then I'm sure that you're going to love this one. So let's not waste any more time, and now I'm going to show you a small fragment of the film. But pay close attention because you're going to see many sea creatures and you have to try to recognize and remember as many sea creatures as you can. Okay? Let's start. Okay, everybody, that's it. It was beautiful, wasn't it? Well, now I would like you to tell me as many sea creatures as you saw. But let's make it more fun, shall we? Right, so now I'm going to let you think for a moment. Your teacher is going to make sure that you write the names down. And now we are going to show the different animals that appear little by little. So when the animal that you've written down comes up, I want you to raise your hand, alright? Perfect. One moment, did anybody mention fish? Well, you're completely right. There were many different types of fish. But let me ask you something a little bit more difficult. What are fish bodies covered with? 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Their bodies are covered with scales. Repeat after me. Fish bodies are covered with scales. That's right. And what do they use to swim? What are these? They are not arms, they are something else. Fish use fins to swim. Repeat after me. Fish use fins to swim. Well done. And what else do they have? They swim with the fins, but they have something else. A tail. Fish have tails. Well done. And last question, alright? What do fish use to breathe? They don't have lungs, do they? They don't have lungs. Fish don't have lungs. Instead, fish breathe through gills. Okay? Fish breathe through gills. Well done. What else did you see? those were a lot of sea creatures, right? Well, don't worry because we've prepared something for you. Your teacher can print out these worksheets for you. You will find different animals similar to the ones you've identified in the short fragment seen before. And then you will have some cells that you can fill in with the different body parts of those characters. Alright? Let's do it! Wow, I'm surprised! You know so many things, which is great because you're going to love the film. So let's go back to the story. I'm sure you are eager to know what happens next. In a faraway sea, there lived Ponyo, a small red goldfish in the company of its sisters. They all lived together with the sea wizard who created life in the ocean by using magic and potions. Crabs, fish, shrimp, squids, jellyfish, octopus, and stingrays all gathered around him. But Ponyo was not like this. She was a very curious fish, and she wanted to travel around the whole world. But the wizard didn't allow her to leave. She knew the sea, right? But what about the land? What about those big metallic structures that floated around the surface? She wanted to see and know about them, but she couldn't leave. So what do you think she did? Yes, she decided to escape. But was she successful? Let's find out.
Oh, poor Ponyo. Luckily, Sosuke was there to help. Now that you know who Ponyo is, I want you to write outside the silhouette the physical characteristic that you associate with her. What is she like? What color is her hair? Things that you can see. But you are also going to write inside the silhouette. In this case, you will refer to Ponyo's feelings and attitudes. Ready? Now we will introduce what happened next. Excited, carrying around the green bucket with the new friend he has made, Sosuke runs to the nursing home, full of elderly people, grannies and grandpas, where her mother works, to introduce her to everybody. But the wizard will use his magic to get Ponyo back. Are you enjoying the film so far? What are the things you have learned? For example, it's important not to judge somebody for their looks because everybody is different. Now, I want you to pick the silhouette we used before and pay attention to the next clip. Something will happen to Ponyo, but what will that be? What do you think? Did you imagine that the second silhouette could belong to Ponyo as well? As you can see, she has started to change physically, but is that all? No. She has also changed inside. In which ways has she changed? Give me some examples and write them in your papers.
So guys, what has happened? Ponyo looks a little bit different, don't you think? What does she look like? Yeah, she looks like an actual human, like a real girl, just like you guys. Wonderful. Okay, so now that she looks like a human, let's see. That reminds me. Wait a minute. Doesn't that doesn't she look like one of the pictures in your papers? How about you check out the third form that we saw earlier in your papers? Isn't it very similar? It's because it is the same thing. Yes, that's Ponyo in her human form, the third form, precisely. So now, how do you think she feels? She's finally a human. She can see Sosuke. She's a human like him. So how does she feel about that? Does she feel sad about it? I'm a human now. Well, that's horrible. Or is she happy about it? Or is she confused maybe? I don't know. So she's now standing there. Okay. So now you can have a little bit of time to write down how you think that she feels. And if you wrote anything different earlier, you can correct it. And we'll talk about it later. Okay? So with that in mind, I'll leave you to it. But also keep in mind that you should write about the location. Because when Ponyo was a fish, where was she? In the water, right? Fishes live in water. Yes. So now that she is human, where is she going to be? Swimming in the water too? No, she's going to be in land, as we saw, right? Perfect. So I'll leave you to it for a moment. I'll be right back. Like a jellyfish. So guys, I hope you had time to reflect on your little corrections. I hope it went well. Okay, now let's see. We are going to continue with this story, but I'm going to tell it. Your friend, old pal, old neighbor, Alvaro. Okay, the thing is, Sosuke's mother brings them back into the house because outside is quite dangerous with all that water flooding around, right? So in there they have dinner. It's Japan, so I know you can guess what they had for dinner. Noodles. Wonderful. Slurping. I love it. Okay, so after having dinner, both of them go to sleep. The thing is that Sosuke's mother decides to go help the people from the senior center, even though it's quite dangerous outside. So she hops into the car and she starts driving there. All right. Another thing is, Ponyo and Sosuke are left in the house sleeping. Then Ponyo's father comes in to visit her. We don't know what he wants. Maybe check on her, maybe kidnap her again, because it's dangerous or whatever. But the thing is that he is interrupted by Ponyo's mother, that magical, wonderful being. And they have a nice chat, they have a talk about Ponyo's powers and balancing nature or something like that. The thing is that they decide to let Ponyo stay with Sosuke together. All right? Very nice. And then they continue sleeping until the morning. Oh, yes, I'm up. I'm up. I'm up. Yes, it's not a dream, isn't it? Yes, I'm up. Perfect. Okay, so now in the next scene, it's now morning. Now Ponyo and Sosuke wake up, just like I did. And they realize that Sosuke's mother isn't home yet. She hasn't come back. She's like, oh no, where is my mother? So the thing that they decide to do is go search for her, of course. But everything is flooded. So what are they going to do? Well, fortunately, Ponyo grabs Sosuke's little boat and she turns it big and big so that they can fit in and drive it in the water. Nice, amazing actually. So with that, they go in the water searching for Sosuke's mother. They go on and on. They come across different people and ask them, "Excuse me, do you know where my mother is? No, I haven't seen her, little Sosuke. But hey, make an effort. You're going to make it, I'm sure." Everyone cheering them up. It was wonderful. Yes. So they continue until they find a part that is no longer flooded, a road, okay? And they see the car of Sosuke's mother. So they decide to go that way and start walking. The problem is that Ponyo seems very tired of using her powers so much. So she starts shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And she turns back into her first form, her fish form. And she has to go back to the water. So Sosuke quickly picks her up and puts her in a bucket with water so that they may continue. And then the next scene is going to play.
Stop right there. What do you think that Ponyo should do in this situation? Now, we're going to divide the class into two different groups. The group on my left is going to be the should group. You're going to give Ponyo reasons why she should go with her father. Meanwhile, the group on my right is going to be the shouldn't group. You're going to give Ponyo reasons why she shouldn't go with her father. Is everything clear? Let's begin. I'll give you some time to do this activity. See you in a while. Wow, I'm surprised. You came up with lots of good reasons why Ponyo should or shouldn't go with her father. But what will Ponyo do in the end? We'll have to watch the film to figure it out. So let's go back to the film. So what happened in the end? That's right. Ponyo decided not to stay with her father, who was worrying about her all along. But we also met somebody else. Any ideas on who this might be? That's right, that's Ponyo's mother. And what does she say to Sasuke? Right, she tells Sasuke that he must remind that Ponyo is a fish and he must accept her and love her. Okay, but what does Sasuke reply? Yes, he replies that he accepts and loves Ponyo, even if that's a big responsibility. That's great. And what about Ponyo? Because her mother told her that if she wishes to stay as a human, then she must abandon all magic. So what does she reply? Yes, she says that she's willing to do it. Wow, have you enjoyed this film? We love it, and we hope that's true for all of you as well. So, now we're going to do a different activity, and we have something really interesting prepared for you. So, let's check it.
Okay, children, so as you can see, the Mamano is in a really bad mess, and we need to fix it. Do you want to help? So the other day, do you remember that we sent you a video? Today, we're going to project a picture of a very, very, very special specimen here in the Mamano. And here it is. Who do you think it is?
It's the little fishy. It's Ponyo.
Yeah, technically it looks like Ponyo, but actually it's her cousin, Paki. Paki right now lives in the Mamano, and once was visiting Ponyo back in Japan. And she saw that the waters in Japan were much, much clearer than the ones that we have here in the Mamano. How does Paki feel about that? So, Paki heard that her cousin was coming to the Mameno to visit her. But she wants to fix some of the problems that we can find in the Mameno. What are many of the problems that we have here in the Mameno?
The water is green.
Yeah, the water is polluted.
Fish are dying.
Yeah, the fish are dying, that's right. So, now we're going to project two different pictures, okay? So, in the first picture, we could see this over here. And in the second picture, this. What are the differences between this picture and this picture?
One is clean and one is dirty.
Yeah, so one of the pictures has like beautiful clean waters and the other one has dirty and polluted waters. Even green. Green is produced by algae and the overstimulation of nitrates. So, what does that mean? That the pollution in the water makes a lot of different species of animals, such as fish, such as crabs, such as jellyfish, to become endangered species. Do you know any examples of endangered species here in class?
The woolly mammoth.
Technically, the mammoth was one endangered species at some time, but because now it's extinct, it doesn't have to do anything with endangered species. But it was.
What about the seahorse?
Yeah, seahorses here in Mameno are endangered species. You know, because there are not as many as they were before the water became polluted. So yeah, right now we're going to start the game. To be able to participate in the game, you will receive two different sheets. In the first sheet, we will have the different problems that we have in the Mameno. And next to it, we will have a lot of different columns and different lines with the solutions in blank. In the second paper, in the second sheet, we can find all the solutions to the different problems that we find in the Mameno. So, what I want you to do is to read the different sheets of paper, then discuss it with your own partners in groups, and try to guess and to link the different problems and solutions that we can find to the problems in the Mameno.